Picture this. It is a quiet Monday morning in the early months of the year 2026. You are sitting at your kitchen table with a warm cup of coffee in your hands. The sun is just starting to peek through the window. You open your laptop or check your phone to look at your retirement account balance. The news lately has been filled with anxiety about global markets and shifting economies. You see that your balance has dipped by a small percentage since last week. Your heart starts to beat just a little bit faster. A thought crosses your mind. Maybe I should move everything to cash. Maybe I should wait until the world feels a bit more stable. You tell yourself that this is the responsible thing to do. You tell yourself that you are protecting your family and your future. But what if I told you that this exact moment of caution is the most dangerous trap you will ever face? What if this simple habit of checking and reacting is the very thing that will destroy 30 years of hard work? Most people in 2026 are making a mistake that remains invisible until it is far too late to fix. They are losing their wealth because they cannot stop watching it. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on the silent habit that is draining your retirement account. We are going to look at the brutal reality of the numbers that the media will never tell you. But before we dive into the data that could save your financial life, please take a moment to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss these critical updates. And I want to hear from you in the comments section below. How many times a week do you check your investment portfolio? Is it every day? Once a month? Or only when you hear bad news on the television? I read every single comment, and I want to understand what you are feeling in this current market. Now, let us get back to the truth about your money. Our brains were never designed for the modern stock market. Thousands of years ago, if our ancestors heard a loud noise in the woods, they did not stop to analyze the data. They ran. That survival instinct kept humans alive for generations. But in the world of investing, that same instinct is a massive liability. When you see a red headline on your news feed, your brain treats it like a predator. Your pulse rises, and your logical mind shuts down. The financial media knows exactly how your brain works. They are not in the business of building your wealth. They are in the business of capturing your attention. A headline that says markets remain steady with average growth is boring. No one clicks on that. But a headline that screams market mayhem or the big crash is coming makes millions of dollars in advertising. In the year 2026, information is everywhere, and it is louder than ever. The algorithm knows exactly what triggers your fear. It pushes stories of recession and inflation directly to your screen because fear sells. Every time you react to these headlines, you are falling into a trap. But in reality, you are just feeding your own anxiety. This anxiety leads to what experts call analysis paralysis. You become so overwhelmed by the data that you either do the wrong thing or you do nothing at all. Let us look at the facts. Research from major firms like J.P. Morgan has shown a pattern that should terrify every investor. Over a 20-year period, the difference between a wealthy retiree and a struggling one often comes down to just a few days. If you stayed invested in the S&P 500 index for the last 2 decades, your money would have grown beautifully. But if you panicked during a dip and missed just the 10 best days of the market, your final balance would be cut nearly in half. Think about that for a moment. 30 years of labor, thousands of hours spent working and saving. Half of that value could vanish simply because of 10 days of hesitation. Look back at the volatility we saw in 2024 and 2025. Many investors saw their portfolios drop, and they stepped away to wait for the storm to pass. But as history always shows, the market quieted and rebounded much faster than anyone predicted. By the time those investors felt safe enough to come back, the best gains were already gone. And here is the most frustrating part of that data. Those 10 best days almost always happen within 2 weeks of the 10 worst days. When the world feels like it is ending, that is exactly when the recovery begins. If you are on the sidelines waiting for things to feel safe, you are missing the very gains that create life-changing wealth. Safety is an illusion in the short term, but growth is a mathematical reality in the long term. In the world of investing, the most expensive words ever spoken are, "This time is different." In 2008, people said it was different. In 2020, they said it was different. And now, in 2026, the skeptics are saying it again. They point to new technologies or shifting geopolitical borders as proof that the old rules no longer apply. But the mathematics of compounding have not changed since the beginning of time. Compounding requires time, it requires patience, and most importantly, it requires you to leave it alone. Think of your retirement account like a tree you planted in your backyard. You do not go out every morning and dig up the roots to see if it grew an inch overnight. If you did that, the roots would never take hold and the tree would eventually die. The same is true for your wealth. The constant checking and the small adjustments are like digging up those roots. Every time you trade or move to cash, you are resetting the clock on your growth. The people who retire with millions of dollars are rarely the smartest people in the room. They are simply the most disciplined. They have learned to ignore the noise. They have learned that boredom is the greatest indicator of a successful investment strategy. Wealth building is not supposed to be exciting. If it feels like a roller coaster, you are probably doing it wrong. Excitement is for the casino, not for your retirement plan. As we move through 2026, many of the old rules are being rewritten. You may have heard of the 4% rule for decades. This was the idea that you could withdraw 4% of your savings every year and never run out of money. But with the recent shifts in the global economy and inflation, many experts are now looking at a new standard. A withdrawal rate of 3.5% is becoming the new baseline for safety. This 0.5% difference might seem small in the beginning, but over 30 years of retirement, it provides a crucial margin of safety. It accounts for the times when inflation spikes or when market returns are lower than average. It ensures that you will never have to worry about being a burden to your children. It ensures that your lifestyle can survive even the most difficult economic seasons. To achieve this level of security, you need to build a system that filters out the chaos. The first step is to stop the daily habit of checking your accounts. Every time you check, you give yourself an opportunity to make a mistake. Try moving to once a month, then try once a quarter. If your plan is solid, nothing that happens in a single afternoon should change your long-term goals. The second step is to automate everything you can. In 2026, we have better tools than ever to take the human element out of the equation. Set your contributions to happen automatically on the day you get paid. Set your rebalancing to happen without your direct input using automatic tools. The less you have to think about your money, the more likely you are to stay the course. When you automate, you remove the emotional weight of clicking the buy button when the market is down. We often talk about the first $1 million being the hardest. And that is true because in the beginning, you are doing all the work. Your contributions are the only thing making the balance go up. It feels like pushing a massive boulder up a steep hill. But eventually, you reach a tipping point, a point where your money starts earning more than you do. This is the moment when the heavy lifting is done by the market. With this stage, your portfolio becomes a self-sustaining machine. A 10% return on $1 million is $100,000. That is often more than most people save in an entire decade. This is the moment when you realize that your patience has paid off. Imagine waking up and knowing that your portfolio grew more last year than you earned at your peak salary. That is the reward for the people who refuse to panic. That is the reward for the people who ignored the headlines in 2026. It is easy to be a good investor when the market is going up. Everyone feels like a genius during a bull market. The real test of your character and your future happens when the charts are red. When your friends are talking about selling, when the news anchors look worried, when your spouse asks if the money is safe. That is the moment when your wealth is actually created. You do not make money when you sell at the peak. You make money by having the courage to hold during the valley. Financial freedom is not a number in a bank account. Financial freedom is a state of mind. It is the ability to look at a chaotic world and say, I have a plan and I am sticking to it. It is the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have prepared for the worst so you can enjoy the best. Wealth is not just about having more. Wealth is about worrying less. As you look forward into the rest of 2026, remember why you started this journey. You did not start investing to watch a screen all day. You did not start this process to become a full-time market analyst. You started investing so you could spend time with the people you love. You started investing so you could travel, pursue your hobbies, and give back to your community. Every time you are tempted to react to a market dip, ask yourself one question. Will this matter 10 years from now? Will I even remember this news headline in 2036? If the answer is no, then put your phone away and go for a walk. Spend time with your family or read a book that has nothing to do with money. The market will still be there when you get back, and your future self will thank you for your silence. The greatest winners in the history of the stock market were not the best traders. They were the best at waiting. If you have stayed with me this far, it means you are serious about your financial future. I truly appreciate your time and your dedication to learning the truth. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the algorithm show this message to other people who might be feeling anxious right now. Make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss our next deep dive into the world of wealth building. We have many more insights to share as we navigate this complex economy together. And before you go, tell me in the comments, what is one thing you are looking forward to doing once you reach your retirement goals? Is it a specific trip, a new hobby, or just spending more time with your family? I love reading about your dreams and your goals. It reminds me why we do this work every single day. Remember, wealth is built with discipline, not with speed. The race is only against your own emotions. Stay the course, keep your eyes on the long term, and ignore the noise of the crowd. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Take care of yourself and your future. May your 2026 be filled with growth and peace of mind.